bloodshot eyes. I should have been there.
Huh?
Coronation Street P 694/262 Part 1, Take 1.
Edited.
Well, what happened then?
Oh, so she says. I'm not that sort of girl.
And, was she?
Of course. But not in a leaky caravan, parked in 3 feet of mud and cow fat. A couple of days away from it, he'd told her. Honest, she'd imagined a roaring log fire and a four-posted bed.
You know, I've always fancied that.
A dirty weekend?
Aye, that no. No, a four-poster bed. Alan?
Present.
How do you fancy buying your missus a nice four-poster bed?
Well, I'll ask her, but I don't think she needs one.
Oh, with lovely pink draped satin hangings.
Nope.
Little golden cherubs climbing up the canopy.
Take me no, son. He's never human till after he's had his 11s.
He was all right yesterday. Perhaps you don't like little gold cherubs. Perhaps you don't like little gold me.
Come on, leave that. I'm gonna do my nails like you promised.
I am better at that. How about this? It's a fabulous colour.
Oh, aye, matching with my eyes. No, never mind the varnish, just buff 'em. No, Eileen always used to do this for me. She had a very steady hand.
Prospect of work being dismissed as a possibility for today, then?
You can be next if you like. I'm very good at manicuring, fellas.
Elsie?
Well, we put it to the vote. Did we deserve a day off? And the answer came back a unanimous yes.
No wonder the economy's in such a mess.
Look, I work like a loon when I'm there.
On this nice sort of periodic way.
Look, it doesn't happen every day, so there's no need to be sarky.
All right, I'll remember next time.
All right.
Taking no of him, he doesn't pay me wages anyway, does he? You know how Linda used to get me at it and all. She used to persuade me to take the day off, and we go mooching round the shops.
You know your trouble, don't you, Mrs. Howard?
Huh?
You're too easily led.
Of course, royalty has aquariums to do it for them.
I don't know how you do it. Been married 30 flipping years. I don't know how you do it.
Don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh. You don't know how to do what?
Muck about with the Queen's English.
Who says I do?
She would if she could hear you.
Specificate.
Eh?
Name an example.
Aquarium. That's the thing you put fish in, not what royalty have.
Well, how do you know they don't? I bet you they've got little goldfishes in bowls all over the
They
shop.
might have killer whales in it, a fish spawn, but that wasn't the word you were after, was it?
Well, what was?
Equerries. That's what's in the palace, looking after things, telling what sandwiches to make and what tiara to wear. Equerries. But they wear white gloves, you know.
I don't care if they wear their flipping birthday suits. I haven't rotten got one.
No, is he getting you down?
I can't cope, Stan.
Shall we cancel it, then, eh?
Oh, no. No, not cancel, no. Postpone. We won't have it this Saturday, we'll have it the following one. I mean, after all, a woman needs a bit more breathing space when she has to pick out her own tiara.
See you later, then.
I'm glad they made it a week later.
Now, what's it got to do with you?
Well, I got another week to look forward to it in.
But who says you're going to be invited?
Well, it's a party for all their friends.
Oh, but when folks have birthdays and weddings, you know, they make a habit of sorting out the sheep from the goats.
What do you mean?
Well, them as will bring decent presents and them as won't.
Oh, I don't think Mrs. Ogden would feel like that.
No, but Sam will. He's told him he expects him to fetch a bottle, and he doesn't mean a bottle of light ale either.
Oh, I don't think you're right. I can't see Mr. and Mrs. Ogden not inviting us because we're senior citizens.
Us? And what's that got to do with me?
But you just said they wouldn't invite friends as couldn't afford to fetch summit.
But I'm not friends. Look, my niece Valerie married Ken Barlow. Now, his brother David married their daughter Irma, so that makes me family.
Hey, you better give Oggy a pint first, love. He's a worried man.
I'm not worried. Just organising a little party, that's all.
Yeah, I bet it's exactly what the Shah of Persia said before his missus got going.
My wife knows our limitations.
Aye, a very realistic woman, you know, is Hilda.
Yeah, and practical with it.
Never known to take flights of fancy, that one.
Don't let these snide remarks about my wife. My wife's not daft. Not that daft. I hope.
Hey.
White leather with those gold embossed initials intertwined in a frame of little hearts. Because that's what it's symbolical of, you see.
What is?
Us initials.
S and H. Stan and Hilda.
No. S for sweet, H for art. Sweethearts. Struck me when we first started courting, did that. Yeah, I said to Stan, sweethearts now and sweethearts forever. And you know what he said to me?
No.
No, I don't neither. I've tried, but I just can't fetch it to mind.
Look, Hilda, are you sure you want such an elaborate album?
Oh, yeah, positive. Now, Stan doesn't want to stint me on this. He just wants me to have the best, bless him.
Well, in that case, I'm very pleased.
Yeah, so leave be and all when I tell him.
Well, how does tomorrow suit you for the formal portraits? We can do the others at the party.
Oh, you mean just me and Stan, like?
Right.
Yeah. Gazing into each other's eyes. Us affection spanning the years with radiant dignity.
Yes, well, we'll aim for something in that general direction, yes.
Ooh, I wonder if Annie Walker would lend me a triple row of pearls.
Yes, I'm sure she would.
Yeah. It's a shame we haven't got a corgi.
I don't feel a bit like work.
Now we're going back to the grind.
Back to the old grind.
What did you put?
Well, I wrote and told him his claim was ridiculous.
Flaming cheek car hardly touched her.
Well, she was right as rain when I left her. She was just frightened, that's all.
He's just trying it on. You don't want to take no notice.
I've no intention. I made that clear enough in my letter.
Any road, like I said, if he does start out, you've only got to call on me to give my side.
There'd be no need for that, love. They're all bluff and bluster, these folk. I've met 'em before. You stand up to 'em, they collapse like a prick balloon. Ta-ra.
Hilda, what are you looking for?
Oh, Mrs. Walker promised to lend me this etiquette book.
Oh, well, will you let her have it back when you finish?
Oh, yeah, it's only till next Saturday. Oh, when drinking a cocktail or any other drink, it is completely wrong to say cheers, here's how, mud in your eye, happy days, or any other toast. Oh, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, what's wrong with a nice friendly bottoms up?
Look, don't ask me, Chuck. Right and ask Barbara Cartland.
The secret of making your party a success is not to appear flustered or worried. Yeah, well, that's all right for her, isn't it? I bet she doesn't have to spend the whole day stopping her old man getting K-lied before the guests arrive.
Look, Mrs. Walker says you can take it home and read it at your convenience. You have got one, haven't you?
Yeah. Your husband waits until the guests are assembled and then says, come into the sitting room, and brings them into you. You exclaim, how lovely to see you, as you shake hands. Oh, how lovely to see. How lovely to see you. How lovely to see you. lovely to see.
Coronation Street P694, stroke 262, part 2, take 1.
Oh, yes. Come in.
I haven't called it a bad time.
No, it's not inconvenient. I was just going to have my dinner, but that can wait. Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Leach?
I got your letter.
Yes, well?
No, it's not well, Councillor Roberts. It's not good enough.
I'm afraid I don't quite take your meaning, Mr. Leach.
I'm surprised. It's very plain. I'm a plain-speaking man.
Good, I'm that way myself.
I'm not satisfied. Far from it. To put it even simpler, Councillor Roberts, I shall not be satisfied until my mother has been adequately compensated for the pain and suffering she sustained as a result of her accident with your motor vehicle.
She ran into the back of my car.
Be that as it may, my mother was very sorely injured.
She was frightened, that's all. Do you think I didn't check up? I'd not have drove off else.
It wasn't until I got her into the house I saw the state that she was in. The whole of one side, black and blue, and a badly sprained wrist.
Oh, she never mentioned that at the time.
No, well, she was that upset she didn't realise. She was in a state of shock.
I see. What's the doctor say?
Well, that is, I didn't feel it was necessary to bother him. They've enough to do. No, I bandaged her up myself. I have had St. John's ambulance training. I'm not entirely without experience.
All right now, is she?
Well, that's hardly the point. She's had to endure several days, not to mention nights, of suffering. Now, as a representative of the people and current mayor-elect, I'm sure you will agree with me that justice must always be done. I'm certain you have a strong sense of fair play, Councillor.
Thank you. And what would you regard as justice in this instance, Mr. Leach?
I told you. Compensation. A little private gesture from you to my poor dear mother, and not another word need ever be said.
You had something in mind?
200 quid. 200 quid, and it need never go no further than the three of us. Now, look here.
If your mother sustained even the slightest injury as the result of anything I did, I'd do everything in my power to recompense her. But it's my sincere belief that she wasn't even scratched. It's also my belief that you're doing what is commonly known as trying it on. And I have to tell you, it won't wash, Mr. Leach. No doing. And I'll be glad if you'd leave.
I see. Don't think you've heard the last of this, Councillor. You've not.
Hey, listen to this, Stan.
What?
Without staff. That means when you're entertaining with no help, like what I'll be doing.
You got me?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Your husband opens the door, shakes hands with the guests and suggests that the men put their coats and hats down in the hall. He says to the women, would you like to go upstairs?
I don't need an etiquette book to tell me that. I've been doing that for years, haven't I?
You will find my wife's bedroom if you turn left on the top landing. Here. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah. No.
They're sleeping in separate bedrooms, him and her.
We probably had a Barney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could be right, Chuck. This could happen to you to parties where you've had a Barney. Oh, fancy letting all your friends know like that, though. They must have no shame.
That's high society. Well, let's read William Hickey and tell you about it. Let's have a look.
Got no breeding.
One vital point is to say the names of those you introduce clearly. Do give those you introduce a lead. Mr. Bassford breeds Pekingese.
Well, that's no flipping good. We got nobody coming what breeds Pekingese. Oh, Greta Pollock from the fish shop said she might drop in. Now, she's got an hamster.
And then you say Mrs. Case has the loveliest garden.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I expect that'll be to warn her in case Mr. Basket's Pekingese start messing about in her geraniums.
Aye.
Oh, it's not half complicated, though, is it, Stan, doing things proper?
Aye.
Still, if Annie Walker can behave ladylike, so can I.
Where'd he say she'd gone?
To Elsie's for an up and a downer. Well, you should have seen her face when I told her that Lucille was staying there.
Yeah, well, she won't cut much ice with Elsie.
No, I tried to warn her. But would she listen? Would
Not
she?
your mum.
Are you any flipping differently?
No, she's only acting according to her lights, isn't she? Personally, I can't see Elsie and Alan Howard as great moral pollutionists, but obviously Mrs. Walker thinks differently.
Yeah, well, it's nothing to do with that.
Oh, you've got it all worked out, have you, Albert?
Well, it's pretty obvious to any student of human nature. All that kerfuffle about the Howards goings on, you know, that were not but camouflage. That's not why she doesn't want Lucille stopping there.
All right, come on, let's have it. What deep, dark secrets of the subconscious have you uncovered, then?
Jealousy.
Hey?
He's right.
Are you agreeing with him, Mrs. Corwell?
Oh, no, he's agreeing with me. I'd already thought about it and come to the same conclusion.
Yeah, every mother needs a chick to cluck over.
And with all due respect, Billy, you're hardly a little fluffy chicken.
I'm glad someone had noticed.
She needs someone to mother, you see. And I don't think Elsie meant to. Only she came in and took over.
So Mrs. Walker feels she's been left with nobody to worry about.
Unwanted, eh? Well, they could be right.
Of course we're right. I reckon if anybody knows what it is to feel unwanted, it's me and her. You know, when you get to our age, you become experts.
Give me a minute, love.
Sure, what's up?
Well, I know I'm daft, but I've let myself get all aggravated. The fact is, I've just had a bit of a barney.
Who with?
Norman Leach.
That woman's son? I thought you wrote to him.
I did. He came round to the house, though. Dinner time he come.
Cheeky devil, so what's he want now?
Well, I don't think blackmail will be too hard a word for it. He knows the position I'm in. He knows I'm Mayor-elect. He thinks he's got a nice cushy number.
So is he still after the 200 quid?
Aye. Compensation, he called it.
Well, I hope you told him what you flaming called it.
I did.
And what did he have to say when you told him that you got a witness to the fact that his precious mum hadn't even been hurt?
Ah, well, I didn't actually mention that.
You didn't? I don't get it. I mean, once he knows that you've got a witness, he don't open his lying gob again.
No, well, I didn't want to drag you into it.
What do you mean, drag me into it? I mean, I am in it. I was there, Alf. Look, I've told you I don't mind. In fact, it'd be a pleasure to give a rotten pig like him his comeuppance.
Yeah.
I just don't see what your problem is.
Well, I might have exaggerated it. Anyway, I'll give him right short shrift at dinner time. With any luck, we won't see him again.
That's what you said the first time.
Anyway, give us a pint.
Well, anything with a pretty neckline, really. Something flattering to frame the face, Ernest always advises for a portrait.
Yeah. Of course, what I'd really like to be a proper professional hairdo. You know, restyle, conditioner, colour rinse the lot.
Who'd notice?
I would. Inside me, I'd know I'd done something special and, well, it'd make me feel special.
But your curly's gonna be just as good.
Yeah, well, still haven't solved the problem of what to wear for the photos tomorrow.
What about that dress you bought for our Irma's wedding?
Oh, I couldn't wear that. Well, I mean, that was bought in hurry, wasn't it? You know, with everything being so secret, like. No, I couldn't wear that.
You probably couldn't get in it any road.
Unlike some I could mention, I haven't put on an ounce. My measurements is just the same now as they was then.
Well, then, it cost a bomb.
I think Mrs. Ogden meant that that particular dress would bring back too many memories.
I remember she was a bit chesty that day. I told her she should have wore a vest under her frock, but she said David would have divorced her if she turned up at the registry office in the Liberty bodice. And then when they went to Australia, of course, it's healthy climate out there. When little Darren were born, I remember saying to myself, well, at least he'll grow up without any coughs and colds. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? You always seem to worry about the wrong things in this life.
I can't buy you a new dress, love, but will I go for your hairdo?
Oh, Stan. You mean in a proper high-class saloon in town?
Where else, if my wife's going to look her best?
How is she?
Oh, she's having one of her do's. Can't get over the fact that Lucille's staying at the Howards.
I know. She had a few short, sharp words with Elsie about it.
Yeah, I reckon Elsie must have KO'd her or something.
Well, she's not the only one who's out for the count. It's been a long, hard day today.
Well, don't get too tired. Don't forget you're supposed to be cooking me something special, wine and mushrooms or something, wasn't he?
Was it?
Yeah, I'm a growing lad, you know. I need a woman to look after me.
Ah. Climb up on my knee, sonny boy. Though you're only 5'3", sonny boy. There's no way of knowing, there's no way of showing how much you mean to me, sonny boy. Oh, hard luck. Mommy calls.
Where are we going now then? Are we going in a good shape?
Do we want soup spoons?
Well, I can open it in for you and Alan if you want to. From now on, I'm sticking to one course.
Can I please myself?
Chuck, nobody gets out rammed down their throats in this house, not if they don't want.
Does that include advice?
Especially advice.
Hey, do you know something? Happiness isn't egg-shaped. It's Elsie-shaped.
Ah, well, it amounts to the same thing, doesn't it, kid? Anyway, thanks for the sentiment. I hope you don't live to regret it.
Oh, I won't. Hey, do you think she'll be all right, me Auntie Annie?
She'll be fine.
Oh, it's just that, well, she always had me Uncle Jack to look after. It must be rotten, that, you know, always being dependent on somebody. I'm never going to get like that. Not ever.
And there's her hip as well. Chronic pain she has. Can't bend or lift, can't do a thing around the house. In a right state she is.
Well, I find it very peculiar she didn't mention any of this at the
How
time.
many times have I to tell you she was in a severe state of shock? She was numbed.
Look, if she felt so bad, why didn't she insist on you sending for a doctor?
There was no need. I could do everything that was necessary.
So it would appear I haven't seen much of your mother.
No, and you're not likely to either, the state she's in, so let's stop beating about the bush. What I want to know is, what are you proposing to do about it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm sorry. I'm not blaming your mother. I think she's just doing what you told her to do. But quite frankly, I don't think she was hurt either then or now. I think you're playing a very dangerous game, and one that I'm sure the police would regard as highly suspect.
The police say? What about the newspapers, then? What will they have to say? When I tell them how poor, innocent, defenceless widow women are victimised by so-called public figures, by people who set themselves up as representatives and benefactors. When they hear my side of the story, Mr. Mayor-elect Councillor Roberts, they'll find somebody's actions highly suspect. My bet is it won't be mine.